You is my man and we be doing it. His phone kept going off. That's suspicious. What are you really doing here? Like, what is this game?
Passionate from miles away. Passive with the things you say.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a story time. I wanted to tell you guys the story of the time that I found out that I was the side chick in my relationship. I didn't sign up to be the side chick. I didn't know. So I give myself a little bit of grace there, but we can jump right into the video. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell as well so that you are notified every time that I post. So recently I was scrolling on Instagram and I came across an account of someone that I know. It made me remember a pretty funny experience that I had with this person a couple of years ago when I was 18 years old. So I'm going to tell you guys the story of the time that I was the side chick. Yep. I was not the side chick by choice. I would never choose that for myself. Okay, I have more self-respect than that. But I was his side chick. And I'm going to tell you guys a story of how I found out. If you care about the makeup part of this, I'll put everything that I use down below in the description box. But I feel like the story part is the interesting part here. 8 years ago, when I was 18 years old, I was in cosmetology school. Fresh out of high school, I decided that I was not going straight to college. I hadn't figured out if I wanted to go to college at all. There was a cosmetology school literally walking distance from my house. It was probably about a 10-15 minute walk. Now, on the way to my school, there was a shopping center. I had to pass the shopping center to get to and from school every day. In the shopping center, there was a Starbucks. So sometimes on my way there or on my way home, I would stop at Starbucks and get coffee or cake pops or whatever. I would just go to Starbucks. So one day after school, I was going home and I decided to stop at Starbucks. I wanted a Frappuccino. And I went in the Starbucks and I was standing in line and I looked over at someone in the Starbucks and he was pretty much all the way on the other side of the Starbucks, but he looked familiar. He wasn't close enough for my vision to be able to see who he was. Just his demeanor, he looked familiar. I'm like, oh, I think I know him. He saw me too, and he saw me looking. And then he started to walk over to me, and when he got closer to me, I was like, oh, I 100% know who this is. It was a guy that I had went to school with when I was still in high school. We can call him Michael. That's a pretty generic ass name. I definitely went to school with like a billion dudes named Michael. He's just like, hey, what's up? How you been? Now, when we were in school together, we did not talk like that. We did not hang out. We was not friends. But I'm not rude. At least I'm not that rude. So when he spoke, I was like, I could speak, I guess. So he was just like, hey, how you been? Blah, blah, blah. Making small talk or whatever. I've been good, you know. How you doing? It's like, I'm good, you know, regular small talk stuff. He's like, oh, let me pay for your stuff. So I'm like, okay, go right ahead. I'm not going to turn down free coffee. So he pays for my Starbucks and then he continues talking to me. And he's just like, you know, what you live around here? What you doing around here? You just out here? And I'm like, yeah, I live around here. I just got out of school, telling him that I go to cosmetology school around there. And he's like, oh, okay, bet. So what you was walking home? I said, yeah, I live right down the street. And he was like, you want me to take you home? So like, yeah, sure, why not? Like I said, it was a short walk, so it was a super short drive. So when we pull up to my house, he's like, you know, I wanna see you again. Like, I wanna catch up with you. You know, can I take you out? So I was single, and like I said, we did not talk like that when we were in school. But he was handsome. He was attractive. So I was just like, okay, you can take me out. So I give him my number or whatever, and yeah, I get out. I go in the house. He's texting me within 10 minutes of me getting out of his car. And he's just like, oh, it was so nice seeing you. Glad I ran into you. When can I take you out? I'm like, whenever you make plans to take me out. So he's like, okay, I'm going to take you out this Friday. So Friday comes, we go out, everything is good. He's such a gentleman. And then after the date, he takes me home, and time starts to go by. We are talking more, we are seeing each other more, we're hanging out more. He goes from, you know, going on dates only to going to his house sometimes, and you know. So I'm liking him. Like, everything's going good. He seems like such a good guy. I never heard like bad stuff about him when we were in school together. So like, that just wasn't on my mind. And he was being great to me. So it felt good. What could go wrong, right? Like I said, we are around each other often. We see each other often. I'm just getting used to this. I'm talking to him like every day, seeing him frequently. Like, this is my boo, okay? At this point, you is my man, and we be doing it. Like I said, I was 18. Stuff was moving real fast, okay? One night, I was at his house, and his phone kept going off. Vibration after vibration after vibration. The phone would not stop. Someone was trying to contact him. And I'm like, if I can hear his phone vibrating, he certainly can hear his phone vibrating. So I just look at him and I'm like, somebody's calling you. Like, are you going to get it? His phone is face down. He has not picked it up the entire time that it's been vibrating. So he don't know who's calling him. At least he shouldn't know. He goes,
oh, it's just my man's calling me. I owe him some money. I'm gonna hit him back later.
you haven't even picked up the phone. Like, you haven't even flipped it over. How do you know who's calling you? But okay. So anytime I would be at his house, when it would get kind of late, I would have to ask him to take me home. He would never be the one to be like, you ready to go? I would have to be like, yeah, I'm kind of tired. Can you take me home? I just was not a spend the night at your house type of person. Like, I'm still not like that. I like to be at home. But like I said, I would have to be the one to initiate me going home, not him. I don't think he ever asked me first if I was ready to go. So this night, when his phone was going off hectic, I yawned. I didn't even get the full yawn out before he hopped up out the bed and was like,
You ready to go? You want me to take you home?
I was like, dang, okay. I mean, like, I was a little tired, but okay. It's a little weird to me that he was so anxious. But at that moment, my 18-year-old naive brain was not registering what was happening. That was a big red flag. That's suspicious.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
I didn't believe that anything was going on. So when he asked me if I wanted to go home, I was just like, yeah, okay. I was tired. I was ready to go. I didn't look into it any further than that. Any other time that he would take me home, even though we were just with each other, he would call me on the phone. And we would talk while he was on the way home and when he got home for a little bit. I don't know why. I guess it was just to make sure he got home type of thing. I don't think there was a single time after he dropped me off at home that we didn't instantly get on the phone. And he would always initiate the call. He would call me. This time, I did not get a call. The next day, he texted me and he told me good morning or whatever. But after that good morning text, I did not hear from him for 3 days. And this was when I was in my phase of life of I'm not double texting. So for 3 days straight, I did not hear from Michael at all. So on that third day, I'm like, okay, like enough is enough. I'm starting to get like a little worried at this point because like I said, up until now, we have been talking every single day. There was not a day where I did not hear from him. So I was just like, let me hit him. Let me hit his phone. And he does not answer. So I'm like, my only option really is to call him again. So I call him again and he answers.
Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Hey.
Where have you been for 3 days? Like, are you okay? Like, I thought something was wrong. Like, is everything all right?
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I just been going through some stuff. I just needed a little bit of space. I should have let you know. I'm sorry. That was real messed up of me. I want to make it up to you. Let me make it up to you. I want to take you out. I don't want you to get the wrong idea. Just let me make it up to you. Please.
So I was just like, it's okay. I understand. I was just worried about you.
I'm gonna take you out this weekend and make it up to you. You didn't deserve that, and I'm gonna treat you like you deserve to be treated.
Just saying all of the things. So time goes by and everything's good. No more disappearing acts. Everything was going fine. I'm at his house one night and I'm about ready to go home. And I was really ready to go because I had class in the morning. No matter how late it was, if I had class, I knew I was going home. I was just like, hey, it's getting kind of late. I'm ready to go. And he's like,
You don't want to stay tonight?
I never stayed the night. So when he asked me, you don't want to stay the night, it was kind of like, what? Like, I don't be spending the night over here. Like, what are you doing? And looking back, he probably really was just asking me because he knew I would say no. He's like, okay, well, I'm going to pick you up in the morning and take you to school. And when you get out of school, I am going to pick you up from school and bring you back to my spot. So I'm like, okay, like, okay. He knew what time I had to be at school and what time I got out. He knew what time he would have needed to get to my house to get me there on time. Like I said, I live right down the street. But if we're factoring in me stopping and getting Starbucks and just me wanting to get there on time early so that I could set up my stuff. This would not be the first time that he was picking me up from class. He knew the times. Like he was aware, well aware. So I didn't have to remind him. I didn't have to call him and let him know. He knew. Since I had known him, he was very punctual. Like literally, if he told me he was going to be at my house at a certain time, he would be there on time, every time. So because he was such a punctual person, whenever he would tell me he was coming, I would never text him to remind him or like, you know, see where he was at. I would just be ready at the time that he said he was coming. It didn't concern me when I woke up and there was no like text message, no call from him or nothing. Like, I wasn't worried because like I said, he was always on time. He knew what time he had to be there for me to be able to make it on time. But when that time was getting closer and closer, and I didn't even get a I'm 5 minutes away text, I was just like, okay. So I texted his phone. He didn't respond. I called his phone maybe like 5 minutes before the time that he would have had to get there for me to be able to get like coffee and be at school at a time that was reasonable for me. It went straight to voicemail. So I'm like, okay. All right, now you're playing with me like you're about to make me late. So when I didn't hear from him, I was just like, all right, let me just walk. I didn't go to Starbucks or anything. I just went straight to school because at this point, like, I'm not trying to be late. I got to class literally like right on time with no time to spare, and I'm real irritated now. Here was this guy that I thought was this great guy, but all these little things keep happening that are so suspicious. It's not like I asked him to take me. He literally volunteered to take me. So I couldn't understand for the life of me why he would just not show up. Like, what are you really doing here? Like, what is this game? I knew he wasn't going to be outside after school. But I just really was just like kind of hoping he would. Like, what is happening? Like, at this point, you're standing me up. Like, so after class, I was outside and I looked in the parking lot, and obviously he was not there. I was sitting at home looking like somebody stole my puppy. Like, I was just a little sad, a little irritated, a little confused, like worried, like I said, because I don't even know where he is. Like, he's not responding. So I'm just thinking the worst, like, what's going on? So I go to call his phone again. He answers. And when he answers, he has on like the fakest sleepy voice I have ever heard in my life.
I'm sorry. Like, I was asleep. My bad. I know you mad at me. I got home. I got in the house real late last night. My bad. Like, I know I fucked up. Did you make it to school on time? My bad. I'm so sorry, baby. I'm so sorry. You know I wouldn't do nothing like this to you on purpose.
Now, I should have laid into his ass and hung up. But 18-year-old me, it's okay, babe. Like, I was just concerned. Like, I just wanted to know what was going on with you. Like, you had me worried. Like, don't do that to me no more.
Are you not ashamed of yourself? Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
Embarrassing. I'm so ashamed. I'm gonna come get you tonight. You could come over. You want me to take you out? Like, I just want to make you feel good tonight. I'm sorry. I know I messed up. So I'm like, yeah, you could come get me tonight. So that's what he does. He comes to get me, and I'm over his house. Frankie, none of the stuff that he has been telling you every time he goes missing, it never makes sense. Start thinking logically, okay? And figure out what the fuck is going on. So when I would be at his house, we would listen to music sometimes. Every time we would listen to music, he would not connect his real phone, like the phone that he's actively using. He would never connect that to the Bluetooth. He had another iPhone that would just sit in his drawer. He would take that phone and connect it to the Bluetooth. I know me personally, I had an old phone that I wouldn't use, but my iCloud was still connected to that phone. So when I would get a message to my phone that I was using, I would also get messages to that old phone through my iCloud. So ding, 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 alarms and bells start going off in my head. And I'm like, steal the phone and see if there's any messages in it that could clue me into what really is going on with him when he goes missing. Because if you got to go through all that with a man, like, is it really worth it? I was 18. This was not my proudest moment. I was a little stupid. I started trying to figure out ways to get the phone. Hey, baby, can you turn on some music? Knowing that he would connect this phone to the Bluetooth. This was how I was going to figure out the password to the phone. And he was moving fast, typing in the password, but I called every digit. And I was like, okay, perfect, got it. Didn't even really want to hear music. I just knew that I had to get him to type in the password, and that was going to be the only way that I could do that. And after a while, I was just like, I'm kind of tired, babe. Like, I'm ready to go home. He was just like, you know, let me go use the bathroom first. While he was in there, I took that phone and I stuffed it in my purse. So embarrassing. And when he came out, I was sitting there like I was just the most innocent person ever. The entire ride, I am so quiet. I'm not saying nothing, okay? I am ready to go through this phone and find some incriminating evidence or just prove myself to be completely crazy. Whichever. I was just ready to get out the car and go through the phone. And I go in my house and immediately I start going through the phone. When I opened the messages, there was like 2 threads of text messages, but they were recent. So I'm like, okay, so clearly he deletes the threads. So I'm like, I have to make sure that his messages that come to his phone also come to this phone. So I text him. It comes through. Okay, we in business now. When he texts me back and I check the phone that I have, and it also appeared in our thread of messages. So I'm like, this is perfect. Let me just wait for him to get a text message from someone that will incriminate him. I had the thought to go through his FaceTime call log. I was going through the missed calls because when you have a Apple device, say you have an iPhone, but your iCloud is also signed in on your MacBook or your iPad or another iPhone. When someone calls you on your phone, even if you answer it on your phone, on your other device, it'll show up as a missed call. So I was just like, let me go through the call log to see who he be talking to. When I went through the call log, every number was saved. I saw my number. His mom was in there. Like some of his friends were in there. Everybody was saved, but there was one number that called him frequently, like a lot, and it wasn't saved. So I'm just like, check the dates of when this person calls and when they don't call. I don't think there was a day that I did not see this person call, except a morning that he was supposed to take me to school and didn't show up. This person did not call him. There was no missed call. Those 3 days that I didn't hear from him, there was no missed call from this person. Where I was ignoring it all these other times, right then and there, my intuition was screaming at me. His phone goes off and it is the number. The message says, "Are you home yet?" He responds, "Not yet, babe. I'll call you when I get in." Okay. So I get deep in my feelings and I'm mad. I'm heated. Like I'm just like, who is he talking to? Who is this? I'm gonna FaceTime this number. And instead of like, you know, face-to-face FaceTiming, I leave the phone flat, facing the ceiling, so that when they answer, all they see is ceiling. And they pick up and they get in the camera. It's a woman. I pick up the phone as if this girl did something to me. Going at it with this girl. I'm like, who the f are you telling my man to call you? He's like, your man. Sweetie, I don't know who the f you are, what type of games you and I done said his real name. What type of games you and Michael got going on. He must be lying to you because me and him have been together for 3 years and I'm pregnant. She just said they've been together for 3 years and she that mean I'm the side chick. What is happening? How did I end up being somebody's side chick? What? So I don't even say nothing else to this girl. I hang up and I call Michael. I talked to your girlfriend, the girl you've been with for 3 years. Yeah, I talked to her. She said she's pregnant. You are a liar. You're disgusting. Yeah, I have your other phone. Come get it. It's gonna be outside. You're disgusting. I don't want to hear nothing else from you.
Babe, no, I can explain.
I hang up. My feelings were hurt, but it's like in that moment, all of the sense that I should have had the entire time kicked in all at once. And I was just like, girl, you don't deserve this. You can do way better. So that was the last time that I like talked to him. He did send me messages trying to explain himself, telling me that, yeah, okay, he should have been honest. They're in a long distance relationship. They have been for a few years now. She said she's pregnant, but he was like, I don't think that baby is mine. Started to confess some stuff. He basically admitted to me that when I didn't hear from him for those 3 days, she was in town. So my suspicions were correct, and that's why her calls were not popping up on those 3 days because she didn't have to call him because she was with him. And this went on for a little bit of time until I just kind of got annoyed with it. We didn't talk anymore after that. It's a year. I was scrolling on Instagram and apparently he follows me on Instagram now. He got a couple kids now. They're not all by that same girl, but I will assume that that oldest kid is hers because the ages kind of make sense for how old that little girl is. Good luck to them. Moral of the story is pay attention to the red flags, okay? They're there for a reason. You are not crazy. Please do not ignore your intuition. You're not crazy. You're getting those feelings for a reason. Yeah, don't be a side chick. It's not fun. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and until next time, I will see you later.